stomach's ready. It's not showing on YouTube.
Give it a second.
Oh, got it.
Sure, everybody's loving this dead air. Let's go, my friend. We are, I believe, live and streaming. I believe I'm showing levels, so I think we're good.
Levels.
So let's hit some music. Let's just go.
Let's just rock and roll.
It's good to be back, yeah. Back on draft.
Actually, back too.
Back after the wedding.
Back after the wedding.
Back after so much fun.
I was legally single last show we did live.
Yeah, but not really.
No, not really. No.
I don't know if Amanda's gonna see it that way.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I think she'd hit you with a little.
Stop it. Get
Yeah,
some
exactly.
help.
So that's it, my friend. Amazing time. Great time. By the way, I said to Janice, if there was a day that Dave could dream about, this is probably the day. Like, you are a summertime guy. You enjoy the warmth. You enjoy... And it was a nice, sunny, warm day for you. You weren't freezing your ass off outside. You got to really, enjoy the day.
Oh,
And
yeah.
That's your kind of day, my friend. So I'm glad that happened for you and Amanda and Steph, and that it was beautiful. It was amazing and ton of fun, my friend.
I'm glad you had a good time. I was very happy, to have the day that we had. Everything went as smoothly as you could really hope for. And having people, kind of give me the heads up, right, where they're like, look, things are going to go wrong. No question about it, right? But, you and Amanda are the only two that really are going to know something went wrong. So just push through and just keep going. And, I mean, overall, really nothing crazy went wrong.
That's good.
It was, our biggest wrong moment was when we found out on Tuesday before the wedding that the cake place never sent our order in. They're like, oh, we don't have the venue called looking for it. And they're like, oh, we don't have that order. And me and Amanda are like, it was literally the first thing we did. That was the first box we checked was that venue was picked and then cake. We got that done. So that was a simple one to move past. And overall it was an amazing day. It just went so quick and it's crazy. It sucked because I wanted to spend more time with pretty much everybody that was there, and it's just impossible. It's literally impossible.
It literally is impossible to do. You can't. You try to hit everybody, but that's the day though. Is it flies by because you're constantly talking to people, constantly moving, you constantly do. There's no let up throughout that day. So I mean, I just hope that you took a few moments, got to enjoy it, and can look back and enjoy it because, like I said, it flies by.
Yeah,
it's here, it's gone, and it's wow, did that really happen?
Yeah.
All that money, everything, you think about, it just rushes by, and it goes so fast, so I just hope you took that time to enjoy it. And I will say, I was actually very pleasantly surprised. I never usually get salmon at weddings. Got the salmon, and it was delicious. It was very good. They did an excellent job with the salmon, so I have to say, overall, wonderful experience, wonderful day, and I'm glad I got to spend it with you guys. Celebrate.
I was very happy to have you and Janice there, and anybody else that was there that might be listening or listen later. Can't thank you enough. What a great time, and then went to Atlantic City and had a nice weekend down there. My friend Jamie and her husband Brennan that flew out from Colorado went down with us. My two best men were down there, and then my one best man's wife was there with us too. So we had a nice little crew down there having a good time. And I don't think I'm going to touch a alcoholic beverage for a while. I don't think I went on a 4-day bender since before Amanda was pregnant, and That's pretty much what it was. I literally am still feeling it. Like I feel so shot, and I was just like, I hope I'm not getting sick. And I'm like, dude, you barely like. I went to bed at almost 2 a.m. the night of our wedding. I went to bed at it was almost 4 a.m. by the time I fell asleep the night before our wedding. Like I was in bed at like 1, but like the brain just started racing.
Don't stop.
And it was like, that was almost 4 a.m. And then the next night, almost 2 a.m. And then the next night we were all up till 5 o'clock in the morning, gambling and drinking and just having a good old time. And then it was a 4 a.m. Saturday. So I am hurting. And I took Monday off because I knew it was going to be a long stretch of time. And I was selfish with my thinking, just thinking, Amanda's dad was going to take Stephanie like per the routine, but also like they had her Wednesday night, then they had her Friday night, they had her Saturday night, and they had her all pretty much all morning and early afternoon Sunday. And me and Amanda were driving home, and I'm like, I can't ask your dad to take her. Like, I mean, he loves his granddaughter, but he's 73 years old, man. And she's at the point where she doesn't stop moving. She doesn't shut up. It just wasn't right. So had a little daddy-daughter day yesterday, but if it was up to me, I would have went to bed Sunday night at like 10 o'clock and not woken up until like 2 in the afternoon on Monday.
I know.
But
that's not the life we live anymore, my friend. That's not it.
And I chose to have a kid, so nobody to blame but myself. But yeah, feeling very blessed and very lucky and grateful and also very thankful to be here with you. Like we were talking about at the wedding, man. Like felt like I hadn't seen you in forever, and then we had the 2 weeks straight without doing the show. So very happy to be here. I mean,
draft week.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is if we try to recap everything that's taken place over the last 2 weeks, we'd probably be here for like 3 hours. And I know between me and Eric, we're definitely not trying to go more than an hour. So, but to that point, right? I think draft week officially, to me, really kicked off over the weekend when your Giants made a hell of a big trade, and I see it from both sides, and I can't really say which way I lean more. So I'm kind of curious from your perspective, because I know my thoughts on it, but I'm kind of curious for your perspective. Pretty much a straight up trade, Dexter Lawrence for the number 10 overall pick in this year's draft. So what are our thoughts? What are our feelings? And we can use that to kind of
here's my thoughts, here's my feelings. Week. He demanded a trade. I hated that. I wanted him to be a part of this team. I think he's could be one of the best interior defensive linemen in the league. I think that he helps the defense. But I also think he just got a contract 2 years ago. And yes, year one, he played great. But after year one of a new contract that you sign, you shouldn't be demanding a redo of your contract.
It's fair.
You just signed it. So when you start demanding a trade because now the Giants don't want to rework your contract, which you're getting $20 million, but it's because you're not getting the $30 million you see other guys getting now. But again, market changes every year. So he signed the year before, market changed the next year. He was off the bandwagon. Guess what? Last year you sucked. You weren't good. You could blame it on the elbow. You came into camp out overweight. You came into camp not wanting to do things. You came into camp with an attitude because they wouldn't rework the deal you just signed. So as great a player as you are, and as much as I want you on the team, if you don't want to be here and you think you want so much more money and it's about the money for you, and you watched your friend Saquon go off and win a title, and you watched your friend Leonard Williams go off and win a title, and you watch these other guys, and you think, man, they should be me. Well, great. Then I don't want you here anyway.
Here's the door.
Here's the door. And what I love even more is the fact that we got a top 10 pick back for him. Don't care if it's the 10th pick. It's a top 10 pick. You can't ask for any more. Most people out there, when he demanded the trade, because of the position it kind of puts the Giants in, were thinking the best the Giants could do is a second. We're thinking that the second and maybe a swap of another pick or something. People weren't thinking the 10th overall pick.
No.
But what happened was Trey Hendrickson, they let Trey Hendrickson walk out the door. Cincinnati's defense been shit the last couple of years.
So bad.
And Burrow's been getting very upset. And if they have any chance of retaining Burrow, they had to do something on the defense. And I will agree that Dexter Lawrence is probably better than anybody they were going to draft with the 10th overall pick. So although I could see it from Cincinnati's side, I absolutely love this for the Giants because, one, we get rid of a problem from the locker room. You don't want to be here. You want to cause issues. You want to... Bye. And now we give Harbaugh, our new coach, who comes in and brings stability, brings a voice, brings reason. We give him 2 top 10 picks. Let's go. Now we just got younger. Because guess what? Dexter Lawrence, 28. He's going to be 29 by the start of the year. 7 years, going to be his 8th year in the league. I'm cool. We're going to upgrade. And letting Harbaugh bring in some of his own guys, not having to worry about a crybaby from an old regime, good. As much as I love some sexy Dexy and some dancing, you know what I don't miss? The attitude. Know what I don't miss? The people that don't want to be here. So if you're so happy, and I saw that video of him walking into Cincinnati, and it gives him chills, and he can't wait to play for these guys. He's invigorated like never before. Good. And I hope you enjoy mediocrity and shittiness, because that's all you're ever going to get in Cincinnati. I'm sorry to say it. Seattle won titles before Leonard Williams got there. You know what I mean? Like, these other teams, the Eagles won titles before Saquon got there. A title before Saquon got there. They were adding those pieces. You're not the piece they're adding to get to a Super Bowl. You're the piece they're adding to keep their to keep their diva quarterback and diva receivers happy. That's what you're getting. So guess what? If you don't show up and show out for them and be that Pro Bowl guy who's the 7th best player on defense that you were 3 years ago, Burrow's going to want to be out. Chase and Higgins are going to want to be out, and you're going to be stuck there with your bag, winning absolutely dick shit for the next 5 years. Good for you. So that's the way I feel about this trade. I am amazingly happy for Harbaugh and our Giants because I think giving him 2 top 10 picks is only going to improve this team. Give me Caleb Downs. Give me Styles. Give me Jordan Love, or not Jordan Love, the kid Love, though, out of Julian Love, I think.
The running back out of Notre Dame.
Give me any one of combinations of these players, and I am a happy camper. We'll worry about replacing Sexy Dexy later on. Apparently, I think they already have a deal in place, but they can't sign it for whatever reason until I think after June 1st, maybe for somebody from the Lions. I was reading some article today. I don't know how true it is. I'll have to wait and see. But as a replacement already, they're already thinking ahead. And that's what Harbaugh should be doing. You're building something new here. You're putting this team back to the way it should be. And if somebody doesn't want to get on board, there's the door. So give me 2 top 10 picks. It makes me even more excited because 2 top 10 picks means I only got to watch the first 10 picks of the draft.
You just called it down.
I only have to watch the first 2 hours of this nonsense.
I thought about it. I'm like, man, I got to wait. Like 12, that's not too bad of a wait, but 20, man, that's like 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
That's what I mean. I get out after an hour and a half. You know how excited I am about that? I can see what the Giants did and go to bed. I don't have to be up until midnight watching this nonsense. I'm even more excited for the draft.
The most overhyped TV event in the history of the world.
As a middle-aged man, I am more excited because of the fact that they're top 10, and at least I know that they're going early, baby. Woo! Then I don't have to watch. I can catch up later.
Yeah.
I can figure out what Dallas did later. I can figure out what the rest of the teams did later, and I don't have Jimmy crack corn, and I don't care after 10. Unless we're trading back in, I do not care.
I think about the trade, right? And I think of it in 2 different ways, right? Like,
unless the Cowboys want our 10, want to give us our 10.
There's rumors that the Dallas actually tries to jump all the way up to 3 with Arizona and trading the 12 and the 20 because they want to try and get the linebacker out of Ohio State. Styles, yeah. So, like, on the one hand, I think if you're the Giants, right, like you said, right, you get somebody that doesn't want to be in the locker room out of the locker room. I think for the Giants, the other positive, too, right, it sticks with the youth movement that ownership and the GM have committed to. Like, we understand we need to rebuild this thing. We think we got our quarterback right. We've got
we got him on a rookie deal.
Yeah, we've got a running back that we really like, but we can add, you add a piece there. You get a wide receiver to pair up with Neighbors, right? The defense wasn't half bad.
Might be Beckham. Beckham went through a physical and a tryout with the team.
OBJ.
OBJ. So.
All right. I think, right, like, so you stick with that youth movement. You stick with that game plan, and that's the thing, right? Like, there's nothing worse than a team that's like, we're going to rebuild and we're going to start fresh, and then they do these things where they sign some an older player to some lucrative contract, and you're like, that goes completely against what you're supposed to be trying to do, right? So I like the move for that aspect. I like the move for the aspect of getting somebody out of your locker room that doesn't want to be in the locker room. You hired Harbaugh for, you want him there for 10 plus years, right? You didn't hire Harbaugh for 3-4 years. Like, the idea is you want him to be there for a decade. Well, if you're doing the youth movement and you get that, a lot of these guys are going to come up through it with Harbaugh and really turn into Harbaugh guys, right? So I like that aspect of it. I think the only aspect of it that has me slightly hesitant, and I'll preface this by saying I don't know anywhere near enough about college football or the players in this draft to hold any weight in this from what I've heard, right? This is in my opinion. But a lot of people say this is one of the lowest first round graded draft in over like a decade, where like there's less players with first round grades on them than we've seen in like over 10 years. So you're like, well, that kind of sucks. This is probably not the best draft to have 2 first round picks. Hi, Dallas Cowboys. Of course, this is you have them. But with that said, right, if the number is that few of first round graded guys, the best place to be is in the top 10, because you're going to have the best chance to get those first round guys, right? So that to me would be the only quote unquote knock of it, right? But that's not really a knock. It's just like, okay, well, once you hit 20, right, where the Dallas Cowboys are, right, like, are you really going to get a guy that's really a first round talent? Like, really a blue chip, hey, this guy's going to get a second contract with your team, right? He is not on a rookie deal and then out the league, or on a rookie deal and after his rookie deal doesn't get the 5th year option and gets a 1 year, prove it deal before you, like, that shouldn't be the case with guys that you pick in the top 10. And to your point, right, you have 2 top 10 picks. The other pro to it, right, is before the Giants get that trade and move to 10, a lot of people saw one of the 2 players that a lot of people want or Dallas fans, I should say, want Dallas to get, are no longer being mocked to Dallas because that player would go to the Giants at 10. Mm-hmm. So now you're forcing a division rival to basically say, hey, we're just going to wait and take best player available, or we got to put our 2 first round picks together to jump ahead of you to say like number 3 with Arizona to get this guy. But at the same time, is a linebacker really worth the 3rd overall pick and trading 2 first round picks? Like, you see what I'm saying? So like, they really put a team like Dallas in a predicament, and that's more what I'm curious to kind of see is like, Dallas hasn't traded up in the first round in years. So I'm kind of curious to see, like, are they in that willingness and that invested in a guy? But to me, as a Cowboys fan, to kind of pivot a little bit more back to fully to Dallas, is that defense, even with the moves that they've made, one guy ain't going to freaking do it. So that's all I was going to say.
I do want to pivot to Dallas, but before we do, I wanted to bring up one more thing. How big of an FU is this to the Ravens and the Ravens or front office ownership, whatever, that the first thing Harbaugh comes in and does is pulls off a trade with the Cincinnati Bengals to put a interior lineman in the way of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson and what they want, like that he trades them to a former where he never would have made a trade with Cincinnati. Like if this was Dexter Lawrence with the Ravens, he's not trading him to Cincinnati. No. He's not doing that.
Not for the number 10 overall pick.
But he's going to trade him to Cincinnati the second he leaves Baltimore. I just think that was kind of like, because, we've talked about this before, and the Harbaughs have this about him, because I told you that Harbaugh trade years ago, back when we were cold club zone days, that's exactly how it happened, is Harbaugh called Harbaugh and said,
I'll help you out.
I'll help you out. You got that receiver there, we kind of need one. And next thing you know, Anquan Bolden is traded for a ham sandwich. And it's like, how does that happen? I feel like that's kind of what happened here. Is like he's like, oh, Dex, you wanna get traded? All right, I'm gonna trade you. I'm not only gonna screw you, but I'm gonna screw my whole team too. There you go, Cincinnati.
I mean, obviously we don't know Harbaugh like as an actual person, right? We only really know him as a head coach, but I kind of love that level of petty,
right?
Like,
I kind of love it.
Like if it is the case, right? Like if he was sitting there and he was talking to the GM and the owner, and it was like, Dexter doesn't want to be here. I think we can make this defense work without him. Since he really needs some defensive help, and I wouldn't mind really giving it to Baltimore. Like,
I mean,
let's just call them and see if they'll give us the 10th overall pick. If they say yes, let's do it. And they were probably like, this is why we hired you. Let's give them a call.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like,
and to be honest, the 10th pick is a serious pick. Like, you could get actual talent that could help your team this year. That's not a pick that you're looking at, like you said, that's developmental, that you need to put some work into. Maybe they become a starter down the line. Maybe they turn into... No. This is somebody who you expect to come in and make an impact day one. You expect to come in and be pushing the other people on defense, or pushing on off at whatever side of the ball you're on, pushing them day one. Like you should be coming in as that youth spark we need, not the youth development we're looking for.
And that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with the youth development guys, right? But not a 10. Not a 10. Those are the third,
and that's
fourth,
why it makes
fifth,
sense to me for Cincinnati, is because you're not going to draft anybody there for them on the interior line where you're looking at the board for this draft. There's no serious interior D lineman.
No, it seems to be the DNs. There's a couple linebackers.
That kind of stuff.
There's actually one or two safeties that people are putting in the first.
Downs,
I saw something where this could be the first year where people are right now. A lot of mocks have only 2 wide receivers going in the first round.
Yeah,
and I feel like wide receivers, that one position, you tend to see at least a handful
That's
go.
why a lot of people expect with Harbaugh to take those 2 defensive players, because one, he's more on the defensive side of the ball, rebolster that defense. He already has young guys on offense with Malik, with Scat, with the offensive line actually played well last year. Like, not just good, they played really well. They were in the top 10, I think, in offensive lines in the league. Like, big type improvements over where they had been with this team. We need to keep Andrew Thomas healthy, but I really look at this as this Giant team is poised for a great draft. I think it's going to be exciting. And yeah, I wanted to bring up before we switch over to Dallas completely, that FU from Harbaugh to the Ravens one more time, just as a little present out the door. But yeah, that being said, I mean, what do you expect? Because I'm honestly expecting the Giants, like I said, if Downs and Styles are there, I'm good with both, and I'm happy with that draft. If Love ends up going somewhere in the mix there as one of those two, or if something else happens, like if we get some combination of those guys, I'm a happy camper. For Dallas now, because we know Dallas is looking at some of those same guys that I'm looking at and the Giants are looking at, what makes Dave happy on Thursday night? As a Cowboy fan, speak for your Cowboy fans right now. Don't speak for Jerry Jones. Don't speak for what the Cowboys are or what you think Jerry Jones is going to do. Talk from the fan point of view. What do you want, Dave? What's making Dave happy?
I mean, without knowing the draft board and all the players on it that well, I can't sit here and just say this is exactly what I want. But the edge rusher coming out of Texas Tech, Bailey, very interested in him. Bain from Miami, interested in him. But then we're looking at, because to your point, right? Let's just say Dallas stands pat, right? And they don't trade up. Then most of the guys that they would be interested in, right, are off the board. And now we're looking at, do we find the secondary help that we need, right? Bland, 3 years removed from the record-setting year he had of, career, or not career, but single interceptions for touchdowns in a season. 4 years removed from Trayvon Diggs being a all-pro corner and having a hell of a season. And
He's
and
not
after
even with you guys anymore.
No, he's in Green. He got traded. He got released. Green Bay signed him, and then Green Bay released him before the playoffs even started.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if he's signed with anybody at this point. But like, and then so Dallas after the Bland year, Diggs was down. That's why Bland was getting so many balls thrown his direction because Diggs was out for the majority of that year. So every Cowboy fan went into that following season excited because we're like, finally, we're going to have Bland and Diggs on the field for a whole year. We're going to be able to put Bland back into the slot. And, I mean, the biggest mistake Dallas made with their secondary was letting Jordan Lewis go to Jacksonville. That was the biggest mistake they made when it comes down to their secondary, in my opinion. But anyway, I think that looking at them as a team, they have holes at all three levels. If there's a guy you have with a first round grade and he's sitting there at 12 when you pick, you've got to take him. If there's not, then to me, you trade back and you get more picks. Because the bottom line for me as a Cowboys fan is if they can't get a guy that fills a need and has that first round grade, then they've got to attack it by numbers. And not because they have holes at all three levels of that defense. If Pickens doesn't sign his extension, they don't have their number 2 wide receiver. Jake Ferguson looked like he was slow as all. He looked slower than Travis Kelce looked last year. Too inconsistent with the drop. So they have holes anywhere you want to point, right? So to me, it's a matter of can you get a guy that fills a position of need that is also on your draft board at that 12 spot? Because if you can't, then you've got to get out of there. And you've got to stack up picks because they're going to need them, even if it's next year, right? Like, if Dak can stay healthy, Dak's probably got about another 2-3 really good years underneath him before you really start looking at, like, hey, like, we've got to, start planning for what's next. But it's either that or I'm not the hugest fan of combining 2 picks to trade up to get a safety or a linebacker. I really just don't see the value level there compared to a pass rusher, right? If they want to get one of the pass rushers and they trade up and you're telling me you're going to line this guy up and he's going to cause a problem every down, right? Can play the run and the pass. All right, we can have a conversation, right? But as a Cowboys fan, what's the perfect Thursday to me? Dallas does whatever they can to maximize their future, whether it be trading up to get a guy that's going to make a difference from day one or trading back to get more picks to continue to build for the future and attack things from a numbers standpoint instead of being able to maybe get that one guy that can really change things. So I have no idea what to expect. Dallas and Jerry are not known to trade up. And again, I just don't know how I feel about trading up to the number 3 or 4 pick to get a linebacker or a safety. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. But they don't have a second round pick, so they can't trade like the 12 and their second round pick to try and move up, right? It's either 12 and 20 if they want to get further up into that top 10, top 5. So curious to see how it all unfolds. But unlike Eric, I won't be able to just go to bed. I mean, I really probably will because I haven't stayed up for the draft in years. But yeah, it should be interesting. And look, most importantly, just remember this as fans, please. You want to get mad at your team for taking a guy, get mad at your team for taking the guy, but don't attack the guy. These are kids that are achieving their lifelong dreams. It is not their fault that you don't think they're the right pick for your team. It's not their fault that your team picked them. So you want to attack your team, attack your team.
Although I will say, if you're there on draft night and you boo the pick,
I don't
think you're booing the guy.
No.
I think you're just booing the pick.
And you spent your hard-earned money for that. But if your ass is sitting on your couch or you're sitting at a bar having a beer, don't go after these kids, man. They're achieving a lifelong dream. They deserve the opportunity. They worked their asses off. This isn't like the kid that gets handed daddy's business and just goes from no education and no hard work to a multimillionaire because mommy and daddy handed it to him. These kids worked their asses off for the past 10, 15, maybe even 20 years of their lives to get to this day. Respect that. Go after your team. Don't go after the individual player.
I'll be honest, I would love to see the Giants. And I hate to say it because you know me, I'm a Bama fan, Roll Tide, but like Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, give it to me. Give it to me.
That would
5 and 10.
honestly, that would make me more upset than Dallas doing something.
Like that's right. That's my wish list. That's what I'm I'm hoping that that's what we could pull off. I doubt it because I think we'll end up getting one of the two. As to which one, I'm not sure, but I think it's going to end up being one of those two plus somebody else. Yeah. So that being said, any chance in absolute hell? Because I don't think so. That Fernando Mendoza does not go number 1 overall to the Raiders. Like I don't
see in any form or fashion. They need it. I mean, they signed Kirk Cousins, but you literally signed Cousins to mentor the young kid.
But he's like a younger Kirk Cousins, though, from what I've heard. Like
okay,
like his like mentality, like his demeanor, his like he's very Kirk Cousins-esque from what I've heard. So
man, if I'm a Raiders fan, I don't want to hear that. That's for sure.
But yeah, so I mean, there's I don't think there's any chance that he doesn't. I mean, as far as after him though, it gets. I mean, what do the Jets do with 2?
I mean,
like that's the thing is like his best available, and this is where I should have messaged my cousin because I know he wanted to talk Jets.
Well, I didn't realize that ESPN had Arvell Reese listed as the number 1 ranked player. So Ohio's got 3 out of the top 10, 11 guys on the board. Ohio State does. That's impressive. There's going to be. I think the what keeps the draft entertaining year in and year out is there's always something that happens that nobody saw, nobody expected. It wasn't talked about or predicted. And with all the social media platforms and all the people with their opinions, me and Erich included, right? Like, there's always at least one thing that nobody saw coming, and sometimes that's literally nothing happening, right? No trades. No surprise picks, right? Like sometimes that is literally the thing you didn't see coming, right? So I don't know. I think there's a lot of options out there, right? I mean, Dallas is switching to a quote unquote 3-4 defense. They need another linebacker. They need another outside linebacker / pass rusher. They need help at safety. They need help at corner. Like you want to know what would make me happy on Thursday? As many offensive players as humanly possible go in the top 11 picks. That would make me the happiest.
You're going to have Jeremiah Love go at some point.
So I agree.
You're going to have one.
I don't think Love gets out of the top 10.
I think probably top offensive lineman Maluga Maluga. I don't know.
I have no idea how to say that
name, but whatever.
Francis
is probably going to be the top offensive lineman off the board. So you'll have at least 2. Outside of that, maybe the wide receiver. But I don't know. You maybe Lemon, maybe Tyson, maybe Tate. Depends on anybody who really wants to jump up and grab one of those guys. Yeah.
I actually in ESPN did their mock draft today, where they're not allowed to make any trades, and they have a beat writer from each team make the pick. The beat writer for Dallas had Tyson going to Dallas at 12.
Okay.
And I'm like, unless he knows something about Pickens that I don't know, which he probably does, right? Like the guy actually like is a beat writer for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he probably knows things I definitely don't know. But like, with the amount of holes that they have on that defense and how historically bad that defense was this past year, like, dude, they would have been 12-5 if that defense was ranked 16th or higher overall. Like, that's literally like a 7-game swing. Like there's 6-game swing. Like that's insanity. But anyway, I just, unless it's like, hey, Dallas is not going to budge on Pickens, and if he doesn't sign the tag, then he's not going to play this year. Like, so we need a wide receiver, by all means, right? Or if there's something in the works that Dallas has something set up where Pickens can sign the tag so that they can trade Pickens.
Well, like you were talking about, though, a minute ago, that you want as many offensive players to go in the top 11 as possible. Well, you know Fernando Mendoza goes going 1. You know the offensive lineman is going to go somewhere in the top 10. You know Love is going to go. So that's at least 3. But I think one of the big wild cards is honestly the Jets. What do the Jets do? Because I don't think they reach up and go for like a Ty Simpson or another quarterback. I don't think there's a quarterback in this draft that's worthy of a first round pick outside of Mendoza.
No, and I think they'd eat this year if they're confident that they're going to get like an Arch Manning next year. Like, I think they would, but there's no guarantees with that, right? All you need is one play, and Arch Manning could maybe never. I knock on wood, like I don't wish that on him, right? But like. And one play, and he could never play football again.
And I don't think they're going to spend that pick on Love because they've already gotten guys like Breece Hall in recent years and Braylon Allen, and they've drafted at this position
and
over and over
Hall,
again.
So Hall's with them this year, whether he likes it or not.
I don't see them going for a Love. So that's where, do they go for best available? Do they go for an Arvell Reese? Do they go for somebody else? Do they go for maybe the offensive lineman help and just start building from the interior? Do they go Bailey out of Texas Tech and just love the fact that they want that edge rusher and that defensive presence? Because, listen, Aaron Glenn is a defensive guy, but we all know he's got to be on the thinnest ice ever. I don't even know how he's standing.
A lot of people are shocked that he got this second year, but at the same time, right, like to hire a head coach and fire him after 1 year, like.
But he was bad.
It was bad. It's.
So what does he do to correct it, though? And that's why I think if you're really putting a plan for the future and you really want to correct it, your games are won and lost in the trenches. Get that offensive lineman. If you plan on having a quarterback or drafting a quarterback next year, you better put an offensive line around him. And why not get a guy and get him developed this year so that he's ready for when you bring in that quarterback?
Hey.
That to me would be where I would go. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying Francis out of Miami, he might be the pick there because for the future, if I'm looking for the franchise, if I'm the GM looking beyond even Aaron Glenn, what's this going to look like, even whether he's here or not? Build in the trenches. Build out.
We've seen it plenty of times, right? A good run game and a really, really, really good defense can get you to the playoffs. And right now, as a Jets fan, they don't need, Jets fans aren't like, oh, I want to win a Super Bowl. Jets fans have the longest drought without a playoff appearance in all four major sports. Right? Like, not just football, but literally all four major sports, the Jets have gone the longest time without making their leagues postseason. Jets fans just want to make the playoffs, right? That's really what they want. So if you can run the ball, have a quarterback that just manages the game, and have a really, really good defense, you can compete for a wild card spot. You're not going to win that division, right? Like, that's not going to happen. But you, without a doubt, can fight for a wild card spot. And I think I would have to agree. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets look at offensive line or a defensive pass rusher. I just wouldn't be surprised by it. But they will definitely. They're going to be interesting.
So my cousin did chime in. He texted me back. He said Arvell Reese with the number 2 pick.
Okay. I don't think they'd be mad about that. I think the Titans are where Love's going to go. I could see Arizona or Tennessee taking Jeremiah Love.
And then he's saying he thinks there's going to be a trade for the 9th pick. He thinks that they're going to trade back in for the 9th, and they're going to trade the 44, the 103, and a 2027 third rounder, and then draft Jordan Tyson with the 9th pick, the wide receiver. Okay. I don't think that's as much of a possibility. I think Arvell Reese is definitely there for them at 2, so I don't know about that trade scenario, though. So I'm going to throw that out there. He threw it out there. Shout out to my cousin Mike.
Yeah, shout out, Mike.
He's getting married next. He's getting married in June.
Congratulations.
So he'll be the next wedding I go to, and yeah, looking forward to that as well.
Very nice. Yeah, I don't think my next wedding's until 2027, so I got a little bit of time, thank God.
This is the only other one I think I got this year. I think. I could be wrong. I think.
That's what Janice is for.
But that being said, I mean, I just kind of want to touch on the rest of the first round here. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it matters what the hell Arizona does. I don't think you're getting the pick right.
I mean,
I just they could draft Love, they could draft somebody else, they could draft whoever drafts them. I feel sorry for.
I mean, are they going with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback this year?
Who else
They got rid of Kyler Murray.
Yeah, they got nothing.
And Brissett actually played halfway decent
Listen,
for him.
if Murray's ever going to have a chance, this is it.
Oh, yeah. If he can't be J.J. McCarthy for a starting job, I mean.
Well, not only that, but then you have arguably a top 2 or 3 receiver in the league with arguably a top 10 number 2 receiver in the league in Addison. And, like, they have talent there.
And let's be honest, that head coach, oh, man, his name slipped in my head
Kevin
right now.
McConnell?
Right?
Or Kevin, O'Connell?
Kevin O'Connell, right?
Yeah.
He made Kirk Cousins a Pro Bowler. I mean, all in all, J.J. McCarthy shouldn't have looked even as good as he had moments of looking last year. We saw more bad than good because that's pretty much what I think J.J. McCarthy is. But the good you saw, I would connect more to the head coach. And he's going to give Kyler Murray a chance. They didn't go sign Kyler Murray or get Kyler Murray just to have him sit on the bench. Like, they're going to make J.J. McCarthy fight for that starting spot. And if anybody's going to get the most out of Kyler Murray, I think it would be him too. So I know Justin Jefferson, I give the guy props. You could see the frustration on the field, but he always said the right thing. He never threw his guy under the bus. But there ain't no way he's not sitting there like, all right, well, these are it's kind of like when you're in that position where you just got to be like, okay, the best of two evils. Like, which one's going to do less damage to my football
The rock or
team?
the hard place?
Yeah, so, no, but look, Arizona, like I said, a lot of, like, all last week, all I kept hearing, Dallas is going to trade up to the 3 with Arizona so that they can stop the Giants from taking, Styles or whatever. It's like, Arizona is apparently one of the more talked about, like, no clue what the hell they're going to do team. But to your point, they'll probably find a way to mess it up. And I think if Jeremiah Love falls, I think he's going to fall to Tennessee. And Tennessee, you put the young running back with the young quarterback. Now, Tennessee has a whole lot of other holes to fill, but
that's why. If the Jets say
exciting
go
at least.
Arbel Reese, how did the Titans not go offensive line? How do you not? What good is a running back if you can't protect the quarterback or the running back? If you've got nobody blocking for them, then what good is this running back you're getting? And last year, to be honest, I don't think they were that good, Tennessee.
No.
So why not try to go out? And if you have the shot at the best offensive lineman and tackle in the draft, why would you not? Like, that to me is where I'm leaning. So if the Jets are going Reese and Mendoza's going 1, and then you got Love going to Arizona there or whatever, like, or who the hell knows what Arizona's going to do. The smartest move they could do for 3 or 4, either one of those teams, is take that offensive line. If you're going to build for the future and you want either of these two teams to have a future and you want Cam Ward to stay upright, then I don't understand how that's not the move.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are projecting Cleveland and Cleveland to go out and take that top offensive lineman. Somebody said
you got to protect Shador.
Yeah, well, I saw the other day, they basically were like, look, if you're really going to give Shador his best shot, take the offensive lineman with 6 and a wide receiver with your next first-round pick and be able to look back and say, hey, we invested. We gave it a shot, and the kid just wasn't meant to be a starter in the NFL. Me and you might just sit there and say, well, nobody's really meant to be a starter in Cleveland, but they don't want to think that way. Right? They don't want to look in that mirror.
If Downs or Styles is gone, and I would think about taking the top offensive lineman in the draft. I would think about it if he fell. Like, I don't know if I'm letting the Browns take him. I don't know. Depends. Because, again, even though we have Thomas, he's often injured. And may not be a bad idea.
No, last year he played, 14 out of 17 or something? He played more games last year than he had his whole career.
But that's why. They actually played well. Like, as a unit, when he plays, it's almost like Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Like, when he plays, he's a difference maker. Like, the line is exponentially better with Trent Williams in the lineup.
The whole team is.
Every time.
Yeah.
It's one of those things for Andrew Thomas. The team is better when he's in the lineup.
Yeah.
If he's there, they play more like a unit. I can't explain why, but they had no replacement for him, and they still don't. So that's why maybe it's an opportunity. But again,
there's a lot of
ifs.
That's a whole nother combo of its own, right?
Absolutely.
But I think it's funny just because you mentioned it, I saw it. So it was whatever amount of years ago, right? That Washington trades Trent Williams to San Francisco for a 3rd and 5th round pick, and the guys that Washington drafted with those picks aren't even in the league anymore. And they never got a second contract. They They played out their rookie deals. I don't even know if they made it to the end of their rookie deal before getting cut. Like, the 49ers fleeced San Francisco in that trade. I mean, Trent Williams was a Pro Bowl offensive lineman when San Fran traded for him. But what he's been to that team, they just gave him another 2-year extension. Like, it reminds me of, like, when you just kind of give a guy one more year, but you say it's 2 years just in case he's good, like, still performing. You're like, yeah, you know what? We'll actually fill that year in and that. And, like, you keep saying, hey, we're going to buy one more year. We'll buy one more year from you. And from Trent Williams' perspective, he's like, I'll take another $50 million guaranteed. Like, let's go. I like knocking people on their asses. I'm good. Like, I'm good. I like this team. Living in California down by the bay, right? Like, man, they fleeced Washington on that one. And look, I don't want to see San Francisco or anything, but I'm always happy to watch Washington get fleeced in any form or fashion. So we'll take that. But yeah, a lot can happen. The other thing I saw was somebody saying Kansas City should try to trade up so that they could take Jeremiah Love. Give them a real true playmaker in that backfield.
But no, they just went out and signed the Super Bowl MVP, though. So that takes that off
Kenneth
the board.
Walker, yeah.
So I
did see that a while ago. I forgot about Kenneth Walker signing Kansas City. I always, like, by the time we get to the draft, like, you forget, like, some of the big moves that happened. But yeah, I know people are talking about Kansas City trying to trade up and saying, hey, like, let's make the move now. You know, Kelsey's probably last run, like, whatever. But I don't know. If I'm Kansas City, like, you got holes too.
Say Styles is still on the board. Are you trading the 12 and the 20 to move to 9 to take Styles one pick ahead of the Giants?
No. It's hard for me to think
that's
about
the question, because I think that's the most likely scenario. If they really didn't want the Giants to have, say Giants already took Downs or something, they didn't want them to have Styles too because they wanted Styles. They don't want to, like.
It's so hard to me to think about trading 2 first-round.
Now, see, I would think you would think about it from a different perspective too, though. I would think you would almost get a little happy.
The pettiness.
I say it for 3 reasons. 1, the pettiness. 2,
you gotta change the name of today's show.
2,
the pettiness.
2, you're getting the player that, like, you wanted. You're getting one of the best defensive players and a ready-made guy who's going to step in and make a difference on your defense. And 3, you can go to bed. You don't have to stay up till pick 20 anymore. You don't even got to stay up till pick 12. You're done. Say goodnight, Gracie. You're sleeping easy and wondering, I'll figure it out tomorrow who the rest of the first round was. So for those 3 reasons, I would feel like you would almost have to get a little giddy about that opportunity or that prospect because of those 3 factors. You're getting a great player. You're getting to steal them away from a division rival who you knew was probably going to take them with that pick anyway. And you get to go to bed an hour and a half earlier than you would have before. At least
9 to 20. Yeah, that's at least an hour and a half. No question about it. I don't know. It's very hard to me to justify.
If he's another Micah Parsons, though, is it that hard to justify?
No, not at all.
But that's what they're saying about this kid is he might have that kind of talent. He's coming in day one and ready to play. Like, he's not a project. Like, he's coming in and going to make an impact.
And that's, I don't know. I felt like when Micah came out, you knew what Micah was going to be. I mean, I right? Like we talk about, I don't watch a lot of college football, but, like, when you watch college football, there are just some guys that pop off the screen. Abdul Carter, right? Like, watching when they were in the college, were they in the college football championship or the
playoffs?
The playoffs, right? And, like, you put the game on, and out of the 22 guys on the field, like, he literally, it's like a spotlight is on him because he pops out that much. Micah was the same thing. I don't remember seeing Sonny Styles pop out like that. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like I watched a bunch of Ohio State games, but I also didn't watch a bunch of Penn State games either. You know what I mean? Like, I watched 1 or 2, right? And even then, wasn't a whole game. Like, and every play, like, Carter was getting double teamed, and he still was beating people. And you still, like, the quarterback's calling hike, and you just see him launching off the line before the offensive lineman could get into his first step. Like, popping off the screen. I don't remember seeing that. Again, didn't watch a lot, so I can't act like I can't sit here and say that's not the case. But either way, look, there's going to be 32 men on Thursday, young men on Thursday, who are going to have their lives changed. And when we look back on this draft 5 years from now, there's only going to be about 10 to 12 teams that are going to be happy with the pick that they made. It's really, I mean, it's about 1/3 every year that is, hey, you completely nailed that pick. 1/3 that you're like, you completely bombed that pick. And the other third, you're like, jury's still out. We're only 3 years removed, right? Like,
the sad part is, though, we could pick the teams in the top third, pick the teams in the bottom third, pick the teams in the middle third. Because, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, but there's certain teams that just can't draft. And I think that those patterns continue. So I would watch out for those teams and those guys because I feel bad for them because you're going to draft purgatory. You're going to hell. And it's not going to be a fun ride. But
that's why you got to just put it all on the tape and hope you just don't sign that franchise tag and you go somewhere else.
That's it.
But yeah, no, big time. It's going to be. All right, I think the dad huddle is Fife. I don't know for sure.
No, the dad huddle is Tim.
Oh, shit. All right, Tim.
So shout out to Timmy.
Oh, all right. Tim. That's why he said he'd be right back because he hopped in his Fighting Irish.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hold on. Be right back.
He's got the new. He's got a new podcast, the
Dad Huddle. All right, sorry, yeah. Timmy. Shout out to the Dad Huddle podcast. Make sure you listen to that as well. Timmy's a good man, good people. But yeah, no, Jets bottom half, no question about it. I don't look. I look at this draft and I really gotta say, I just kind of hope.
I think Tampa's taking a receiver. I think Tampa's.
How do you not?
They got it, right?
Well, I mean, they also lost Levante David, too.
No, but I think they're big. I think if they got a chance at Tate or Tyson or one of these top guys, and I think they're going to have a shot at one of them.
Pair him up with Igbuka or however you say it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that guy was a great draft pick, first like 6 round. But
that's why. So say you pair Tate with him, and him and Tate already played together because he was at Ohio State. So I'd say one of those things that maybe they put like-minded guys together. But I think that's where Tampa's going. And outside of that, I mean, I honestly, and I hate to say it, I think 5 years from now, this could be a draft not many people remember. Again, it's not a heavy quarterback draft. It's more of an edge rusher draft. I just don't think that this is going to be one that people look back on like where, oh, man, you remember that draft? Or, I have a feeling this could, weirdly enough, even though it'll be memorable for me as like a Giant fan or for some people, like I have a feeling this is going to be one people forget years down the road.
Well, it's funny you say that because I still remember the 2012 draft, I think it was, when last time Dallas had 2 first-round picks, and he took Felix Jones and Malcolm Jenkins. And guess what I can tell you? Dallas didn't give either one of them a second contract, nor even thought about franchise tagging him. And Felix Jones, I think, had 1 or 2 more years in the league after Dallas let him go, and Malcolm Jenkins had like 2 or 3 more years in the league. So last time Dallas had 2 first-round picks, they did not nail it by any means. And Felix Jones had fun moments. But a scat back, just because he's fast isn't really a guy that I think you look at and say, yeah, I'm going to take you at a first-round pick. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but we won't know until a couple years go by. There's no other way to put it. We just won't know until a couple years go by. But one of the things we don't have to wait a couple years to see how things unfold is we are also in the playoffs. We're talking the round ball playoffs first, baby.
Yeah.
Rough game last night.
Well, that's kind of where I want to go with it. We don't got to talk about all the series and everything. It's too early in the playoffs. We're going to be here for weeks to come talking about playoffs. But that blown lead last night, Knicks double digits going into the second half. Looked good, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter just collapsed. I think what they say, Cat had 2 shots all fourth quarter. He dominated the game. He was like 8 for 10 in the game, had like nothing in the fourth quarter. That Brunson kind of took it personally, it looked like, with him and McCollum going at it and turned it into more of a one-on-one game, and it wasn't conducive to the team or what we needed to do to win. So I look at last night as Brunson got to check the ego at the door, man. You got to do what a superstar does, and in this case, you should have deferred to Cat because they couldn't stop him. You should have had 25 assists instead of 25 points. And I think that that's kind of where I go with it. Not that we got to dive too deep, but this is one they gave away. And they're going to go back to Atlanta now, and you're going to have to make this game up. You're going to have to figure out a way to get both the games in Atlanta now, in my opinion. And this team, it's just so frustrating. At times, they look like they could be a title
world
contender.
Beater. They look like they can beat anybody.
Other times, they look like they can't punch your way out of a paper bag.
You saw two things in last night's game. One, Brunson needs help guarding McCollum. He's not going to be able to shut McCollum down for an entire game. And two, the Knicks need to find an offense when Brunson's not on the court running the offense.
Well, that's the problem I had. Why are you sitting Cat and Brunson at the same time? You have two superstars. You have that so that you don't ever have to sit like one and sacrifice. Like you could have one on the court at all times. And with Cat dominating the way he was, why the hell was he not on the court when Brunson was off the court? I'm all for giving him a breather, giving him a break, but in those moments, you have to have Cat out there. She's the one dominating. Atlanta has no answer for Cat. None.
This is where you miss the Tibbs mentality. Right? Tibbs like, I'm not trusting my bench. We're shortening it up even more than we do in the regular season.
No, people are apologizing to Tibbs today about it. Because this is why.
It's
and unfortunately, McBride has not found the shot after coming back from injury. He has not found his rhythm, has not found it. And if he's your second unit scorer and he's not scoring,
yeah,
get Cat in the game. Get somebody back in the game. Get them playing more minutes in the playoffs. Yeah. Guess what? You saved them all regular season.
You did some load management.
You know what I mean? So that's where I think that this is something Mike Brown's got to learn from. It's something Jalen Brunson's got to learn from. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the beginning of these playoffs.
And shout out to my boy Noose. He joined us. He even says, right, get Cat more involved at the end. He was cooking.
It made no sense to have him not involved. He was. He's the one guy on the Knicks Atlanta has no answer for.
Yeah.
And as far as McCollum goes, you're 100% right. Brunson shouldn't be guarding him. And they try to hunt him out, and they try to get those matchups. I get that.
Yeah.
OG, Mikal Bridges, those other guys need to step up and be that defensive rock we need them to be. And apparently, too, is the first night that Suni Lee, who was in the stands, and OG didn't ball out. By the way, I heard that on show this afternoon.
One of those random little facts, right?
But apparently, he usually goes for 40 on nights he shows up.
Look, all I'm going to say is this, right? That was a rough loss for the Knicks last night. But the bottom line is, won by 13 in game one. They got a lead up to, I think, 14 or 15 last night, and they blew the lead. And could it potentially hurt them? Yes, but I don't think it hurts them overall when it comes down to winning this series. It's not as, we always talk about the big thing with hockey and what makes hockey's playoffs so intense is that it is grueling, game in and game out and they're beating on each other and 7 games, and it adds up, right? And it's such a litmus test to go really win that NHL Stanley Cup. The NBA isn't as grueling by any means. Okay, so yes, do you want the Knicks to play an extra game that they shouldn't have to play the game, right? No, but the Knicks are going to win this series. They're the better team, and the reason why they moved the first round to a 7-game series instead of the 3 games like it used to be, or the 5 games that they did 3 and then they did 5. 99% of the team, the best team, wins a 7-game series in basketball. 99% of the time. The Knicks aren't going to lose this series. But if you could have won it in 4 instead of 5, you're going to think back to that when you're reaching, if you're in the Eastern Conference Finals and you got to go 7 with Boston. And Boston maybe doesn't have to go 7 in the first round, right?
Boston in the next round.
But you know what I'm trying to say, like it's the build up to it, and that's a game you don't want to blow because you had it and you shouldn't have blown it. But I don't think it stops the Knicks from winning the series. I think you're looking. I mean, when you look at the East, to me, whoever wins Boston, New York is probably representing the Eastern Conference. Detroit should not be struggling as much as they are against the 8 seed, or like, no disrespect to Orlando, but they shouldn't be struggling the way they are against Orlando. And when your top player drops 40 and you still lose, that's a problem for the number 1 seed. So I genuinely think whoever comes out of Boston, New York is going to be your team that represents the Eastern Conference in the finals. You just don't want this one game to be the difference because of tiredness or whatever. Like, I mean, stop it. You get paid to play a freaking game. And again, right, it's not even close to as brutal as the hockey playoffs are. But yeah, I think if you're a Knicks fan, I'd be upset about how they lost last night. It's a game they shouldn't have lost. But if you're a Knicks fan, please trust me when I tell you they are winning this series. And if I'm wrong, nah, I'm not going to do anything for you, but I'm sorry.
Well, I think that's about as deep as we're going to go there on the NBA playoffs. We're still really early. And kind of the same here with the NHL playoffs as well. We're still really early in round 1. We're just kicking things off. It's kind of, again, that sports equinox where, like, March Madness just ended, baseball's starting, the draft is happening, playoffs are just getting started. Like, this is like a mega of sports. There's just so much going on.
But it's funny because when we were in AC, me and Amanda stopped back at the room to change or something, and the Stars Wild game was on. I was telling her, I'm like, Amanda, this actually should be a really good series between these two teams. She went in to take a shower. That's what it was. We were on the shower before we were going to dinner. So she goes in to take a shower. So I'm just sitting on the couch in the room having a drink that I brought up from the bar. And by the time she's out of the shower, okay, like by the time I put the game on, it was like early second period. The Wild were up 1-0. Amanda doesn't take long to shower, okay? She's maybe a 10, 15-minute shower person. That's it. By the time she got out of the shower, it was 4-0. The Wild just went at it. And then and then we're watching it together while we're getting dressed, and I'm like, well, if they can score at 1 goal, make it a 3-goal game going into the third period, like anything can happen. No. They gave up another goal before the end of the second period, and I'm like, this game's over. We don't need to watch this anymore. And it sucks because I was very much like
into it.
I've gotten into watching the Dallas Stars play. I've enjoyed watching them play hockey over the last couple of years. They've been a very competitive team over the last couple of years. So I'm kind of pulling for them. And what the hell was that? They managed to pull out a tight win yesterday. But that first game I was so disappointed in. And I think you're going to have some really good series, though. I really do. I don't think there's like and I wish we had our boy Fife or Schmelrose with us. I don't think there's a team that you look at in the Stanley Cup playoffs that you say they're the clear-cut favorite. Like, I'm sure Vegas has its team, but I doubt the odds are drastically different. I think the playoffs are going to be a hell of a year this year and continue to help grow their brand. I mean, we just saw it just got announced the other day. Baseball overtook the NBA as the number 2 sport. I don't think we're much more than a year or two away before NHL drops them down to number 4. Because I think hockey's getting better and their marketing's getting better. That the Frozen Four ice competition, but the replacement for the All-Star game that they did, like
the Four Nations face.
Yeah, like they're not going to do that every year, but like little things like that. Before you know it, the NBA is dropping down to number 4, and those owners are going to.
I think the NHL and hockey in general got a boost this year with the Olympics, especially here. USA winning the gold for the first time since 1980, the fashion in which they did it, beating Canada, like it really, I think, helped get the sport to another level of popularity. Like the average sports fan before probably had no idea who Jack Hughes was. You ask anybody in this country now who Jack Hughes is, and they're gonna be like, "Yeah, wasn't that the guy who won the from the gold medal game?" But so much more widespread and widely known now, and I kind of agree. I think basketball is the one that's taking the biggest step back. And that's hard to say because I don't know that baseball's taken a bunch of huge steps forward, but I think that they've done some things in recent years that have really helped the game and helped to get fans back involved because, one, I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, but to be honest, it's been a lifesaver for the game of baseball, the pitch clock. Honestly,
that brought a lot of casual fans back.
Because now a game isn't 3.5 to 4 hours. Every Yankee-Boston game isn't 4 hours long now. Games are 2.5 to 3, and that's what they should be for all sports. If you're keeping anybody's attention, a game shouldn't be more than like 3 hours. Like once you start getting beyond 3 hours, it better be going to overtime. It better be going to like extra innings.
I need to be on the edge of my seat, not like, it's the seventh inning stretch.
And they're up 9 to 4. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what anybody wants to see. So the fact that they were actually at least forward thinking enough to be like, hey, we got to try something. Like, we're dying here and we got to do something different. And to be honest, it's worked. Like certain other things, the replay system they input. I wasn't sure how it would work because, again, when you're replaying balls and strikes, it's actually quick. Within less than 10 seconds, they've made a call, and we're on to the next pitch, and everything's... I like it because you know what? We're getting calls more accurate now. And if somebody didn't think the call was right and you want to challenge it, I think we have the technology. It should be able to be done. And it doesn't take away from the pace of play.
Before I forget... While we're talking about baseball, I think we both should send our thoughts and prayers to our boy Mike. Because I cannot imagine how stressed the hell out he is right now. What are they, 11 in a row? 12 in a row?
No. So I heard this today. They're 11 in a row. Only one team in history has had an 11-game losing streak during a season. I believe it was like the 1951 Giants or something like that. That they're the only team to have an 11-game losing streak during a season and win. No team has ever had a 12-game losing streak and won. Now, I also thought it was interesting because you know who was at the Knicks game last night? Steve Cohen. And by the way, you know when the Mets losing streak started?
Last time he was at a Knicks game?
No. But it started when they had the mayor... Mamdani come in to a Met game and he hugged Mr. and Mrs. Met.
Oh, no.
He hugged the mascots. And ever since that moment, he said it was all on camera and everything. It was a big PR moment.
Big PR thing, yeah.
Ever since that moment, the Mets have not won a game.
Why haven't they brought Grimace back yet?
They got to try something. They got to try anything. Because tonight's critical. No team in MLB history has ever lost 12 games and made the playoffs. 12 in a row, I should say. No team has ever lost 12 in a row and then made the playoffs. So they've never had it. Like the tonight's game, and I don't know how they're doing, but tonight's game is a make or break kind of game or kind of season. Like you may be able to just write the Mets off if they can't get it done tonight. So let's see where they're at. Yankees up 1-0 over Boston at the end of 4 here. Mets, Twins.
Oh, they don't play. They play tomorrow. They don't play
tomorrow,
tonight.
So they are off today. Oh man.
Oh, my. I was thinking
How are
about
they off? That's weird that they're off today. They get rain now, maybe.
Yeah, that I just thought about Mike. I saw somebody, and they just wrote like, I already have an article in place. The worst team money can buy because they have the second highest payroll in all of baseball.
Oh no, they're on right now.
Oh, okay.
In the mid-third, 0-0 against the Twins.
Oh my God, Mike, thinking of you, my man. I actually went to text him, and I'm like, I can't because I was pretty sure if I texted him, the response was going to be like one of those. Like, you know, when you text somebody, like when you got to scroll to read an entire text, like that's what I imagine getting back to him. And mentally just not prepared for that yet. So, but Mike, I'm thinking of you. We're thinking of you, and honest, it won't last forever. At some point,
but there's a lot of internal beef right now with the Mets, and I'm not going to sit here and shit on them because it's just not right to do. Like they're having a hard enough struggle as it is, but like apparently Lindor, Soto, like I don't think that they're meshing well there in the clubhouse, and I think the problems run a little bit deeper, unfortunately, and that's weird to say because I don't know exactly what they are, but I just got to think that something's going on.
Nothing was wrong with them last year playing together, from what I know.
So no, but this is bad though. And I'm
good luck to the Mets, and I am actually, I'm quite used to the teams I root for not being good. But it is kind of nice to have a team I root for not be good and not care pretty much at all about it. So I guess that's nice.
Well, that being said, I think it's about time that we take you home to.
Oh yeah, meatballs and spaghetti tonight for dinner.
Nice.
Baby will be sleeping already. So Daddy gets to go home, take a shower, comfy clothes, heat because I've been so cold today.
Shout out, by the way, to everybody who joined us today. Shout out to News. Shout out to Tim. Shout out to the Dad Huddle podcast. Shout out
Carl
to
Sr. with us. Senior. I think Carl Jr. was in with us for a minute.
Yeah, shout out to both Carls. Appreciate you guys listening. Shout out to Marissa. Shout out to Janice. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Julie. Shout out to anybody else out there listening. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Honestly, it means the world to us. And if you could follow, subscribe, share, do all those free fun things for us, it's Champcast. That's on Spotify, or that's on Facebook, that's on TikTok, that's on YouTube. Follow us all over the place. That's Champcast with a Z, throwing it back to our Sports Zone heritage. And yeah, until next time, my friend, where can they find you? If they want to find you.
If they want to find me, which if you don't, I don't blame you. So we got D Hastings 23 on that Instagram and David Hastings 23 on X, formerly known as Twitter. And besides that, here next Tuesday.
Boom.
Because we're back. He's back in Jersey. I don't got a wedding to worry about anymore. And this is how
we'll be able to talk about how the draft ended up for both of us.
Yeah.
So now we're going into it, both having 2 first-round picks. Mine 2 top 10s, yours 2 top 20s. And we're gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. But follow me at Louis, or you can follow our unofficial third co-host Louis at Louis Aussie Dude on Instagram, or you can follow me at the Living Legend on X. Yeah. And until next time, live like a champ, will you?
We appreciate y'all.
Boom.